friends, it's Jessie here. I am back with another video. In today's video, we are going to be doing my week 1 budget for May. Pretty exciting that we have already moved into May. Happened very quickly. Seemed like April went by really fast and really slow at the same time. We are working with the paycheck that my husband received on May 5th, 2020. And this is paycheck number 1. I am in my Budget by Paycheck Workbook by the Budget Mom. I have it punched and put into a big size happy planner. I did a whole setup video on this, how I set up my pages for May, both in my happy planner here as well as a spread that I did in my Erin Condren Life Planner. Nope, that's not right. My Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly Planner. I'll give you a little sneak peek of that. This is the monthly layout that I did using Sarah Marie stickers. Pulled this in because I wanted to show you the way that I budget is week to week, paycheck to paycheck. So I figure out my budget by looking at the day that I got paid, which was May 5th, and I look at all of the bills and expenses between May 5th and the next paycheck, which is May 12th. So obviously these May 12th bills will get paid on the 12th with that paycheck, but I need to make sure I am taking care of everything between there. So everything from the 5th to the 11th will get entered into my budget today. And that's how I budget. I know a lot of people do a monthly budget. It just doesn't work out for me. I find it much easier to go week to week. Now, if I was a month ahead on my bills, which someday I'd like to be able to do that, then I could do a monthly budget and be totally fine. But because I'm not quite there yet with my budget, I go week to week. And the Budget by Paycheck Workbook from the Budget Mom really helps me out with that. Makes it super easy. I'm going to link it down below. I have the printable version. You can get it printed and bound and shipped to you as well, although I'm not sure if that option is available right now. I know that the Budget Mom is in the process of coming out with a new planner, so I'll just link thebudgetmom.com down below. It's a phenomenal resource for all of your budgeting needs, really. I use a ton of things from the Budget Mom, but anyways, I'm going to zoom you guys in and we're going to start writing out all of our bills and expenses for the week. So the income that we are working with this week is about $12.50. That is not my husband's paycheck. Lumped in there is paycheck number 1, but it's also any money that we rolled over from the previous week. Also any other income, whether it be like money from credit card rewards. We do use credit cards and pay them off immediately and reap the rewards of that. We also do have some credit cards though that carry a balance, and that is what we are actively working on paying down. Though I will admit, in the last week I have swiped a credit card a few times. There's been a few things that we've needed / wanted. I'm not proud of it. Certainly not perfect in this crazy time that we are living in. Just doing whatever we can to get by, really. So we'll get into that a little bit later. For now, let's just start listing out our bills and expenses. So under the bills category here in my Budget by Paycheck Workbook, I not only put my weekly bills, but anything in terms of expenses that comes out of my checking account. So anything that I use my debit card for will go under bills. Everything else, I believe, is going to be in cash. So that's just how I do things. You can do it any way you want. Personal finance is, as they say, personal. So, do whatever works for you. So we're going to write out our bills. First one is Capital One. That is one of the credit cards that we carry a balance on that we're actively trying to pay off. So I don't bother putting in the due dates because, like I said, I know that all of these bills need to be paid between now and next week. So I just skip out on the due date. You can certainly write in your due dates. You can do it however you want. I'm not giving budgeting advice, really. It's more just sharing my budgeting process and what I do. Do whatever works for you. So we're going to budget $70 for that. Next is Hulu, and for Hulu, I budget $12. This is for the Hulu with no ads. I got tired of watching the ads one day and decided just to upgrade to the no ads plan, and I'm loving it. Also, Disney Plus, we do have the package that's Hulu and Disney Plus and ESPN or whatever. We don't really use that. But because when I signed up for Disney Plus, I had a pre-existing Hulu account. They're two separate transactions, and so I list them out in my budget separately. For that, we're going to budget $7. Next up is Spectrum. That is my cable internet provider, and we pay $69.99 a month for, I don't know how much internet speed. It works for us, however much it is. So I'm going to budget $70. I always round my expenses up and I round our income down. That way we know we're always covered. My husband works in a job with inconsistent income. He gets paid based on commission. So however many jobs he does throughout the week, however much work there is, he gets paid a percentage of that. So our pay tends to fluctuate quite a bit. So the way that I combat that and kind of deal with that is to, like I said, round my expenses up, round our estimated income down, and then we also roll over money week to week, and we have a buffer in our account, plus we have an emergency fund, so we can always pay our bills. Next up is grocery. I am going to budget $150 for groceries this week, and spoiler alert, if you saw my grocery haul, that's the word, my grocery haul on Thursday, you will know that I stayed within my budget. Now, if I have to go and pick up anything else between now and next week, I'll be over, but for now, I'm within my budget. I'm happy with that. So, and that's $150. We are a family of 4 with everyone home, my kids not in school, getting school lunch. We've been spending a little bit more recently, plus we're just bored and we're eating a lot, so there's that. I think everybody's grocery budget lately has just gone completely out the window. Maybe not. Maybe you guys are totally within your keeping yourself under control. We're not. But what we are spending in groceries is sort of offset by what we are not spending in gas. We're not going anywhere. Other than picking up groceries once a week, we literally are not going anywhere. There's talk about us going to our campground this weekend, which I'm excited about because our governor just kind of opened up second residences. We live in Michigan. Michigan is still very much locked down for the most part. Our governor just extended our stay-at-home order until May 27th now. Every 2 weeks she gets on and extends it 2 more weeks. We're probably going to do this all summer. But she did say that we're allowed to travel between residences. We have a camper that sits on an annual campsite, so we are legally allowed to go there again. So we might do that. We're chomping at the bit to do something. Even if all we do is go and sit in our camper and do the exact same things we're doing at home, at least it would be a change of scenery. So we'll see about that. But either way, we've budgeted $20 in gas. Last week, we also budgeted $20 and we spent $7. And both our tanks are full, both the truck and my son's car, so budgeting $20 again, and I anticipate rolling most of this over into our sinking fund for gas next week as well. We'll talk more about the gas sinking fund when we get to that section. For household, I always budget $30, and that essentially just goes right to our Amazon credit card. I love our Amazon credit card. I am not by any means like advertising or suggesting that you go out and get a credit card. However, it works for us to put all of our household expenses on our Amazon credit card because you get 5% cash back. We use that towards Christmas. We shop Amazon so much, so frequently. It just works out really well for us. And so $30 a week is what we put towards household. We have all of our household items on Subscribe and Save. So our toilet paper, Kleenex, cleaning supplies, laundry detergent, dish soap, all of that comes via Amazon Prime for the most part. So a few things sometimes I have to pick up here and there from Walmart, but we love our subscribe and save, and that $30 goes towards that. I am going to be starting a new sinking fund this week, though, for household maintenance because we have failed to plan in that area. And again, I'll talk about that when we get to our sinking funds. Eating out. We haven't been really eating out much during this whole chaos thing. We've been laying low and avoiding that, but you know, life has got to start to go back to normal a little bit here and there. So we are adding eating out into the budget this week. We're going to budget $50. I don't know that we're going to do that every single week, but this week we are. And I'm putting this under bills because most of what we have been ordering when we eat out is, you know, either DoorDash, they have their no contact delivery, or, you know, we're just pre-ordering it online. So having it in the bills section, we can use our debit card, not have to worry about exchanging cash. That's been working out. Also, what's coming back this week, and again, maybe not every week, but this week for sure, is my spending money because my shopping has been out of control. There's just nothing else to do. I've been going a little stir crazy, so I have been shopping. That's one of the things. I've been swiping that credit card, and that is obviously not what I want to do. I want to be paying off debt. That's the goal. So adding to it because I'm bored is not a good idea. So we're going to go back to spending money here and there for myself because all of my shopping lately has been online. Again, we're going to keep it under bills rather than doing a cash envelope for it. And I'm going to give myself $40, and that's essentially just going to offset what I have spent in the last couple weeks on Amazon stuff. If you guys would be interested in seeing a haul of the items I've picked up from Amazon lately, books and other odds and ends and fun stationery items and things, let me know. I'd be happy to film that. But that is it for the bills. I need to pull up my phone here and pull out my calculator, which one of the new things that I purchased was a new phone case, and I think it's so pretty, but definitely didn't need to go on a credit card. Okay, so we're going to add this up. So we have 70 plus 12 plus 7 plus 70 plus 150 plus 20 plus 30 plus 50 plus 40, and that is 449. So we have 449 in bills this week. So we are going to take that $12.50 that we had for an income total and subtract our bill total, and that leaves us with $801 in our little leftover slot here. And we're going to carry that down to our next category, which is cash envelopes. So if you've been watching my budgeting videos over the last couple of months, you'll know that the only cash that we've been pulling out in terms of our weekly spending is my husband's cash. So that is for his spending money. He is still working. He's essential. And so having cash in his pocket if he wants to grab a lunch from a fast food place or if he needs to pick something up while he's out and about works for us. So while my spending has all been online, his spending has been in person, so it makes sense to do cash for him. So he gets $40 as well. And that's it. Typically we would do our eating out and my spending in cash as well, but because, like I said, those things have been online, that's staying in the bills category. So our envelope total is real simple. I don't even need my calculator for that. It's $40. I do need my calculator, however, to get the leftover amount. So we take that $801 that we had left over after we finished our bills. We subtract that $40 for cash envelopes, and that leaves us with $761 left over to take to our next category, which is sinking funds. So in the last month or so, I have been doing very little with sinking funds. I've just been putting money in a couple of funds a week. It's been pretty lackluster. I decided that in May I really want to try to focus on bulking up my sinking funds a little bit because I've been sort of slacking in that area. So I've cut back on some of the extra savings that I've been doing and am trying to focus more on sinking funds. So we're going to fill quite a few sinking funds this week. So first up is campground. If you've been watching, you will know that we had put our campground annual site on a no interest credit card, and that was just because saving for it in cash and then trying to call my campground every week was a pain in the neck. Not every week. Call my campground every month. It was a pain in the neck. It's hard to get in touch with them during the off season, and it was just more trouble than it was worth. However, we just paid off that credit card. That's been paid, which is wonderful. One down. And so we need to go back to saving for the campground in cash. The good thing is now that we are in warmer months, campground hours are extended, so getting in touch with them won't be so difficult. We do pay this. We've actually paid ourselves up through the year anyway. We don't owe any money until October, so essentially this money is saving for our next year's annual site, which is due in October. So the only thing we will have to call the campground and pay is our campground electric, which also comes out of this sinking fund. But again, it's much easier to do that now that they are open. So sorry about that, you guys. I rambled so much that I killed my camera battery. I don't know where it cut me off. But I'm going to take that as my cue to stop talking so much and just get to the numbers. So I was saying our campground is going back to a cash sinking fund, and we're going to put $60 in that this week. Next up is going to be car tags and maintenance. And for that, we are saving $30. Christmas is also going to get $30. I have been regularly saving for those two things, car tags and maintenance and Christmas, so we're just going to continue on with that. Holidays, that is a sinking fund for essentially all of the other holidays outside of Christmas, so that's Easter, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, all of those. And that's been sitting empty since Easter, so we're going to finally add something to that today. That's 20. Sorry, I had to turn the planner, you guys. I'm having a hard time with my handwriting today. Home insurance. We paid off our mortgage back in March, and so that used to be lumped in with our mortgage, but now we're having to pay that on our own since our mortgage is paid off. No longer have that escrow account, so we're doing that with a cash envelope. $60 goes in there. Next up is that new sinking fund I'm starting for home maintenance. I should have been saving for this all along. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I wasn't. Our vacuum cleaner kicked the bucket this week, and so not having any money in savings to account for things that break down in the house, I had to buy a new one on a credit card. So I definitely don't want to make that mistake again, so we're starting a home maintenance fund so that the next time something around the house breaks down, we have the money to cover it. So home maintenance is a new sinking fund we're going to start this week, and we're going to put $25 into that. Next up is hunting. You guys know, if you've been watching a while, my husband is a hunter, and we are setting aside money for all of his hunting expenses, his hunting licenses, anything else that he needs come hunting season. So we're going to put $20 there. Next is pets. Hopefully you guys can see this. I feel like I'm really far away, but I'm zoomed in as much as I can be. I need to start also saving up for a new camera lens, make it a little bit easier for this filming, but that's neither here nor there. So we're going to put $20 in pets. Property taxes. We have to pay property taxes for our shed. There are no property taxes for our mobile home, I guess because technically it's considered a vehicle. But our shed, we have to pay property taxes on. It's not a large bill, but it comes twice a year, and we want to make sure that we are prepared for that. So we're going to put $20 in our property tax envelope. And last, we have gasoline. So the way that we fill our gasoline envelope is we budget our gas every week. We use that gas budget to gas up our vehicles. Anything that we have left after we have filled up goes into the following week's gasoline sinking fund. So last week I budgeted $20. We only spent $7 of that, so the $13 that's left over gets banked in our sinking fund envelope. So I'm going to add these up really quickly. That's it for this week. You can see quite a few more sinking funds than I've been doing in the past couple of months, so happy with that. So we're going to do 60 plus 30 plus 30 plus 20 plus 60, 25, 20, 20, 20, and 13. It's $298. We always aim to try to put at least $100 in sinking funds when we can. Obviously, we're not going to short ourselves and not pay bills if we don't have quite that much kind of left over after everything else gets taken care of, but that's our goal. So you can see we're putting in quite a bit more this week than that, which is good. Makes up for some of the weeks that we've been a little bit under. My husband's work has been affected by the virus that's going around. You know, business has been a little bit slower, so we've had to cut back here and there, but this week we made it work. So very excited about that. So we're going to take the $761 that we had left over after we took care of bills and our cash envelopes. We're going to subtract that $298, and that's going to leave us with $463 for our next category, which is extra debt. So we'll take that $463 that was left over and bring it down here. So we have been taking our extra debt money, which is essentially our snowball, and we have been collecting it in cash and keeping it in an envelope. That way we have a little bit of extra emergency money, essentially, rather than sending this immediately to the credit card that we're working on. We're just holding on to it in case my husband should lose his job if he gets sick. We want to be able to, you know, have a little bit of extra money just in case. This money will eventually go to that lowest credit card on our list. But for now, we're just holding on to it more out of fear, I guess, than anything. But our snowball has moved up. We've been paying $112 a week, but we just paid off that credit card I told you guys about. And so that monthly minimum payment gets lumped in to our snowball, and this moves up to $120 a week. So moving right along. That's exciting. And that is it for the extra debt category. So we are going to take that $463 that we had left over after we took care of bills, envelopes, and sinking funds. We're going to subtract the $120 for our debt snowball, and that leaves us with $343. I need to fill in this extra debt total. So $343 is what we will take to the very last category, which is extra savings. So I said earlier, we are kind of cutting back on some of our extra savings. I have been doing 2 extra savings categories monthly. I've been doing our Savopoly, and I've also been doing a monthly savings challenge. Decided this month in May to cut back a little bit and just do one. So we're just doing Savopoly, and that is so we can focus more, like I said, on those sinking funds, building those up a little bit because we've been sort of neglecting them. So for Savopoly this week, we're going to save $15. And you might be saying, Jessie, what the heck is Savopoly? It is a savings challenge printable that I found at memotherandI.com. If you would like to see how I use it and how I come up with how much to save each week, you can check out my May budget setup video. I did a whole segment in that video showing my Savopoly board essentially and how I roll and how I figure out how much I'm going to save each week. So definitely check that out. I will link it down below for you. But this week it's $15. And that's it for extra savings. This is essentially just savings that does not have a purpose. So while my sinking funds are savings, those savings go to a specific thing. This money is just extra money, set aside for a rainy day money, spend on whatever I want money. So we're going to take that $343 and subtract the $15 for Savopoly, and that's going to leave us with $328 left over. You might be thinking that's quite a bit, but as I said earlier, my husband is paid based on commission. We don't always know, what his paychecks are going to look like week to week, and so we roll over what we can. And this week it's quite a bit, but that's good because this next paycheck is probably going to be a little bit smaller. Things have been a little bit slower so far this week. So that's just how we do it. So technically this money does have a name. It's a rollover. So it's still a zero-based budget because we told that money what to do. Sit in my bank account, wait till next week. So that is it for my weekly budget. Next up, I have to figure out how much we're going to take out in cash. And to do that, I use the handy cash envelope breakdown, which is another of the worksheets from the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. And what I do is, let's flip this back over. I take all of the categories that we need cash for. So in our case, the bills are not cash, that just stays in our checking account and we use our debit card to pay those things. But everything else is in cash. So my husband's spending is in cash. Our sinking funds are in cash. We pull this out in cash and keep it in a expanding accordion folder. And we just keep our sinking funds in cash. That's how we do it. Our snowball right now is also in cash because we're just keeping that in an envelope. And Savopoly is in cash. So I will list out all of the categories that I need cash for here in the cash envelope breakdown. I'll list the amount and then I will figure out the denominations that I want. You guys couldn't even see that, sorry. I'll figure out the denominations I want through the cash breakdown. So I'm going to do this really quickly because I know this video is getting long. So we will just list out the categories we need cash for, as I said. So that is my husband's spending, our campground, car tags and maintenance, and so on. I will just go ahead and list these things off really quickly, as well as their amounts, and then we'll do the cash envelope breakdown together. So I'll be right back. All right, my friends, so I've listed everything out here and got a total, which is $473. So I know that's how much I want to pull out of the bank, but I need to figure out the denominations now. So if I just go and take $473 out for $400 bills, I'm not going to have the denominations I need to fill my envelopes. So this helps make sure that I can fill all my envelopes. So for my husband's spending, I'm going to want two 20s. A campground, I'm going to want a 50 and a 10. That's 60. For car tags and maintenance, I want 30, so I want a 20 and a 10. Christmas is also a 20 and a 10. Holidays is just a 20. Home insurance is 60, so we'll do a 50 and a 10 for that. Home maintenance is 25, so we'll do a 20 and a 5. Hunting is 20. Pets is 20. Property taxes is 20, so we'll just get 20s for that. Gasoline's 13, so we'll do a 10 and 3 ones. Snowball's 120, so we will do a $100 bill and a $20 bill. And Savopoly is 15, so we'll do a 10 and a 5. And then I will just go down the list and count up how many I need of each. So we're going to want 3 ones, and that's a total of $3. We're going to want 2 5s, that's $10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10s, that's $60. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 20s is $200. 2 50s is $100, and 100 is $100. I then put that amount on a little cash teller sticky note. These are from the Budget Mom. They come in super handy. They are on a whole big pad, sticky pad. This is actually only half of one. I have the other half put away for essentially next year. It comes with a ton of these. You get more than you need for a whole year, depending on how often you get paid. So you just fill out the bills, the denominations, you give this right to your bank teller, and they will give you the cash that you need, which I have here. So now I'm going to switch gears and we're going to stuff our sinking funds. We're not doing cash envelopes. I've already given my husband his $40 for the week. I cannot wait until I can start filling cash envelopes again, because it means that life will be back to normal. But for now, just sinking funds and savings, of course. So I'm going to pull in my little accordion folder. I love this accordion folder. I say it every week because it's got a flat bottom, so it stands up on its own. And in this accordion folder, each of my sinking funds has its own tab, so I can keep everything separated and divided, and it works out really, really well for me. So I've got my little planner off to the side to see how much I need to put in each envelope, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Campground currently has nothing in it because I've been paying it the money towards that credit card, but since that credit card's paid off, we're doing the campground in cash now, so I need to start a new card. I use a little index card just to keep track of the money that's coming and going from these envelopes. Because they are used they're not used every single week, it can be kind of hard to remember how much I put in last week, how much the week before, and so I just do it this way to kind of keep track of it. So we are adding money for the paycheck that is May 5th. We are going to add $60, which makes our total $60, so that's pretty easy to count. We're just going to pull out a 50 and a 10, and that's going to go behind the campground tab, which has been sitting empty for quite a while. For car tags, we're going to add $30. We currently are sitting at $324, so we're going to add 30 more, which should mean we have $354 if my math is accurate. So we're going to add, I said, a 20 and a 10. And we'll slip these denominations in here where they belong. 20 goes with the 20s, and the 10 goes with the 10s. And we'll count this up and make sure we have 354. I'm not the best at math, so I always like to count to make sure that my totals are accurate. So we have 100, 50, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. $354. So that's perfect. That'll go back behind the car tags tab, and we will pull out Christmas. So Christmas I keep in this fun envelope. This is a printable from the Budget Mom. It came as part of her 2020 Savings Challenge course, but I believe she has it available separately as well. Like I have said before, the Budget Mom will be linked down below, as well as that 2020 Savings Challenge course if you're interested in that. We currently have $440 put away for Christmas 2020, which is exciting. We're going to add 30 more, which should bring us up to 470. So we're going to add another, oops, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're going to add a 20 and a 10. And again, I'm going to pull this out and count it and make sure that I have what I think I'm supposed to have here. So slip those denominations in there and we'll count it up. 100, 200, 300, 50, 70, 90, 410, 430, 40, 50, 60, 70. Perfect. That goes back behind the Christmas tab. Next is holidays, which, like I said, is been sitting empty for quite a while, but we're going to remedy that today. So on 5/5 in holidays, we're going to add 20, which means we will be up to 20. Make it easy to count. $20 there. That goes back behind the holidays tab. Next up, we have home insurance, which currently has $610 in it. We're going to add another $60. So we'll be up to $670. We're going to add a 50 and a 10. And we'll count this up. 100, 200, 350, 450, 550, 600, 20, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70. Perfect. So far my math has been good, which is good because it isn't always. You guys have seen me struggle before if you watch my budgeting videos regularly. Next up is hunting. Hunting currently has $135 in it. And we are going to go ahead and pull out a new index card because this one's looking pretty full. I always keep extra index cards in the back of my folder to make it easy. So we will just add $135. We are going to add 20 today, which should bring it up to 155. So we'll add in our 20 there. And we'll count this up. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150, 155. So next up, we're going to start a new envelope for home maintenance. So I have my label maker here. It's from Dymo. And I'm just going to create a new label here really quickly for my new category, which is, like I said, home maintenance. And this is going to be for anything around the house, essentially, that needs replaced or updated. That way I don't find myself in a situation where I'm having to swipe a credit card like I did with that vacuum cleaner. I don't know if I spelled maintenance right, but we're just going to go with it. And I believe I was out of frame for that entire shot there. Sorry, you guys. I was just typing in to my little Dymo label maker here. So I have home maintenance, and I'm just going to add it to one of my empty tabs, which there aren't very many. I have so many categories now. I don't know what I'm going to do if I end up with more categories than I have spaces. I guess I'll start a second accordion folder, or maybe I'll switch up my system. I don't know. I'll let future Jessie worry about that. So I'm going to need a card as well. And we will start a new fund for home maintenance. And we are going to add $25 in there just to get us started. And that'll add up quickly, though. You'd be amazed at how quickly these funds add up when you're adding a little bit to it every month. So that's home maintenance. Next up we have pets. So I have two cats, Sirius and Jax, And their food and their cat litter come out of our grocery and household budgets. This pet envelope is more for vet visits or flea medication if they need that sort of thing. Whatever it is, just like emergency situations. So we're going to add $20. It had $40 in it, so we'll be up to $60. 20, 40, 60. And we'll put that aside for my fur babies. Next up is property taxes. Our property taxes are currently sitting at $44, which I believe will cover our summer. I think it's summer and winter that we pay those bills. I believe that will more than cover our summer bill, which has not even arrived yet, so we are ahead of the game, which is great. We're going to add $20 more. So we should have $64 in this account. $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $61, $62, $63, $64. Perfect. All right. Next up we have gasoline. And this will be the last of our sinking funds before we move into our debt snowball. So our gas envelope currently has $133 in it. This is all money that I had budgeted for gas over the course of the last couple of months. Well, since April 7th we started this fund. That didn't get used because we haven't been going anywhere. So I recently lowered my gas budget. I used to do $50 a week, and after a couple of weeks of not spending any of that money, as you can maybe see here, $50 went in there twice, I lowered it to $20, and still we are coming up with extra money. So $13 is going to get added today. So 3 ones and a 10. And this money essentially is just going to be for any time that we need extra gas money above and beyond what I budget. So like I said, we go to our campground a lot in the summer, and that's quite a drive from our house. Gas prices typically go up in the summer when we're not in the middle of a pandemic, so having extra gas money is never a bad thing. So should be oh gosh, let's see if I can do the math. 146. 50. This isn't focusing. There we go. 50, 100, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Yep. Perfect. So that's gasoline. Now we're going to move into our debt snowball. So all of this money is slated for debt should we not have an emergency. Praying that we don't have an emergency and need to use it, because it will be so nice to send a big chunk of money all at once and hopefully pay off a credit card. So we are adding $120 today. So this should be up to $680 if my math is accurate. So we'll add 100 and a 20. And we'll count this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. $680. And we've just been building this up since the beginning of April, and we'll send it as soon as we feel confident that we're not going to need it to pay our bills. So that was our snowball. Very last thing is Savopoly. So our extra savings, we have $159 in there currently. We are going to add 15 more today. should be $174. 15 is what I had left in my little stack here, so that means that I didn't forget anything or miscount anything, which you can't always count on with me. I've definitely made those mistakes before, but not today, so that's good. We're gonna count this up and make sure we have $174. 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. Perfect. All right, you guys, so that is it for my weekly budget. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed sharing it with you. It was so nice to be able to fill those sinking funds and have quite a bit more money in savings now. I'm more than willing to back off a little bit on our monthly savings if it means that our sinking funds are better funded. It's just such peace of mind knowing that when we need that money, it's going to be there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new here and this is the first video that you have ever watched and you enjoyed it and you would like to see more, make sure that you subscribe. I post budget videos every single week. This week I posted quite a few budget videos, more than usual. So if you love this kind of content, definitely check those out. I'd love to have you back here on my channel. My weekly budgets typically go up on Fridays, but there's other content too. So yeah, definitely stick around. I'd love to have you. I will see you guys next week for another video. Bye!